A lot of Christmas spirit in the room tonight, I'm sure. Everybody's been good. Let's take a moment of silence and reflect on last year and the season and how thankful we should be for living here at Holden Beach. Let's take a moment. Thank you very, very much, and we'll officially call the meeting to order and say welcome to all of you, taking the valuable time from your family and friends to come participate in tonight's business and celebration. And you're always welcome and appreciate your input. So with that, remind everyone, if you have not become familiar with the way we do business, to my left corner in the back of the room is a table with all the information about what's going to transpire here tonight, the agenda and so forth. So help yourself. And if you cannot hear, if you raise your hand, then we'll check them, the equipment, and we'll ask the people participating to speak up. So if you cannot hear, just raise your hand and I'll have our people adjust their voices accordingly. So with that, let's stand and pledge allegiance to the flag to my right. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Number 4 on the agenda is a consideration of approving the agenda as presented. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Have a motion, is there a second?
Second.
Discussion of any kind?
I'd like to make a motion to amend the agenda.
All right.
We have, on item number 17, we have a discussion and possible scheduling of a special meeting to interview applicants for vacancy on the planning and zoning board. I would ask that be amended to include vacancies on the audit committee as well. This way we don't have to have 2 special meetings, and we can put in any new members in the audit committee at the next meeting, which is that's called for.
Everybody understand the motion?
Yep.
Okay.
You guys repeat that, please?
Okay, we have a motion made to amend the agenda, item number 17, to add the words audit committee, so we wouldn't have to have 2 meetings. We have a motion to amend. Is there a second for the amendment?
Second.
All right. All right, everybody understands. Ready to vote? All in favor of approving the amended agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, say no. It's unanimously approved. Number 5, consideration of approving the minutes of the November 19th meeting. Is there a motion? A motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. It's unanimously approved. Number 6, public comments. Town clerk has given me the sign-up sheet that has no names on it. Everybody in the room agree that's correct? Assuming it is, we'll move on to number 7, old business. Mr. Hewitt, do you want to address that, or?
Mr. Clemens is covering the solid waste contract for us tonight.
It's a much better subject than trash.
That makes it sound sophisticated, don't it? If you can hear me or not. As Alan said, this is an exciting topic here. Waste Industries provided the town with proposed amendment to the solid waste and recyclables collection, transportation, and disposal agreement. The current agreement term is through December 31st, 2019. The amendment would extend the initial term by 2 years, with the end date being December 31st of 2021. Per the amendment, there will be a 50 cent per month per car increase. The waste industry has explained the increase is due to their cost of doing business over the last year. In particular, a large increase they took on in January when they changed their third-party haulers to haul the waste from the transfer station to the landfill. They said the change was necessary as the previous hauler was not following the terms of the contract and could not keep up with the volume of tons that go to the transfer station each day. Waste Industries is also raising their fixed rate service fee from 2% to 3% per year. The cost for the service each month of the second pickup would increase by $1,818. The current budget supports this. However, we have to make some changes about that upcoming year in the budget to accommodate this. Have any questions or anything? Alan at Pinpoint with Waste Industries is in the crowd there, and he can answer them. And I think I pronounced that right. I recommend that staff recommends that you guys approve the contract.
Commissioners, any comments or questions?
Does the contract continue to include, or has it previously included the days of pickup?
Run that by me one more time.
Yeah, what happened last year, remember the waste management, I believe, wanted to shift the days, and then that would create a lot of hardships for us.
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, Joe, I think it's the same schedule that we've got now as far as the days that we do pick up.
Okay.
That's the way I understand it. If it's anything different, I guess I would just straighten this out.
There is no language in the contract that specifies the days, but we move the days back or request
Good, I
that.
appreciate that, thank you.
Any more questions, comments, Commissioner? Is there a motion?
I make a motion, we accept the contract.
Second?
I'll second that.
Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. It's unanimously passed.
Thank you.
Thank you for all you and your staff do. Number 7, Mr. Wood.
We just did number 7.
Number 8, I'm sorry.
This is the photo op for the outgoing board, so if the entire board could assemble up front so we can get some pictures from the front. This plaque is presented to the outgoing Town of Holden Beach Board of Commissioners and reads, Town of Holden Beach Board of Commissioners, December 2017, November 2019. Mayor J. Allen Holden, Commissioners Mike Sullivan, Pat Kwiatkowski, Joe Butler, John Fletcher, and Peter Freed.
Sure. Number 9. Joe Butler and John Fletcher and Peter Freer, I'm going to present you with some plaques. Is that correct?
Commissioner, or Mayor Pro Tem Fletcher wasn't able to make it tonight.
Gonna move this individually or?
Sure.
All right. should have read those, shouldn't I? Those plaques represent a lot of hard work and a lot of time, and those of you commissioners, if you have anything that you'd like to say, I guess start down here with you, Peter.
Not too much. I'd just like to say thank you, everybody. It's been an honor, and I wish the new board the best of luck.
The agenda says Board of Commissioners comments, so I assume that's everybody. Do you have anything you'd like to say?
I'd actually like to thank Peter and Joe for their hard work and their participation, and in particular Peter for a lot of the advice on procedure and basically how to operate in the kind of situation we are with all of the rules, procedures, et cetera, et cetera.
Mike?
I'd just like to say thank you, and I appreciate all the time and effort that was put in by Commissioners Freer, Butler, and Fletcher, and wish them well, and hope that they continue to be involved in the town, despite the fact that they're no longer on the board.
Okay.
I just have a couple of things. First, I'd like to discuss, real win for Holden Beach. And you know me well enough that sand probably is my number one priority in beach renourishment projects. We currently, if you haven't noticed, we currently have a major project underway on the East End beach renourishment. I'd like to thank David, Christie, fellow commissioners, and the Inlet Beach Protection Board for the hard work to obtain and get to the point that we're currently at. As many of you know, we lost 88,000 cubic yards of sand this previous year or the year before last, but the amount of sand now is going to be in the area of about 200,000 cubic yards of sand, because this includes the inlet crossing, right, as well as the bend widener. So I really appreciate all the effort and that the board and everyone has put into this to make this happen. So thank you very much. I'd also like to thank other key staff members that supported key projects such as the lift stations and parking. And I, along with Peter, I'd like to wish everybody a safe and happy Christmas holiday, and I wish the new board well. Thank you.
Thank you. And as mayor, I would like to thank each and every one of the commissioners for all the hard work and time, dedication, and equally important, thank you, the citizens of the town of Holden Beach and visitors, property owners. We all work together, we all get good results and make a place that we're all proud of. And I always like to say one of the best things about Holden Beach is we stay out of the newspapers. And low-lying, happy people, and that's the way we like to keep it. So thanks for all that you do as well. Okay, next thing on the agenda is number 11, and we have one of our property owners here at Holden Beach, Judge Gore. And so Judge Gore is going to present the oath of office for those of us elected tonight. And we're going to follow the lead of our town clerk, Heather Fennell. There's no problem with telling us what to do. So.
I'm actually going to delegate. Chrissy is going to.
Okay.
She likes to tell people what to do.
And she's good at it.
She's good at it, yes.
First will be Mayor Holden.
I'm going to ask Miss Alice Fuller to hold the Bible for us.
I'll take a point of personal privilege. Say it's an honor to be here to do this. I think it's the second time I've been able to do it. My wife and I were blessed to become property owners here in 16. I'm born and raised right in Supply, y'all. And so now my children are able to play and frolic in the water of Holden Beach as I was as a little boy. My dad had a dream to potentially be a landowner here, and he didn't have that happen. But God saw fit to allow me to do it. And so to be able to have my boys and my wife and I enjoy Holden Beach, a place that's not too commercialized, but it's safe, it's enjoyable. And it's because of this town council and all the citizens doing what we do to make sure that this place stays a sanctuary and a place that people from across this entire state will want to come to. For y'all that don't know, I'm running for the North Carolina Court of Appeals. And so I've traveled the state since May, and whenever I tell folks that I am from southeastern North Carolina, they instantly talk about some of the beaches. And Holden Beach is one that they have nothing but smiles on their face when we talk about. And it's because of our town council and everybody to keep this place safe and going. And I'm honored to be here to keep the wheels of the political process going and to make sure our mayor and the town council stays doing it for another years and years to come. Mr. Mayor, raise your right hand. I'm going to say I, state your name, and I'll read the entire paragraph, and then at the end I'll say, is this your oath or affirmation? Please call. I state your name.
John Allen Holden.
Do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina, and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof. I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the constitutional laws of said state, not inconsistent with the constitutional laws of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, and that I will faithfully discharge duties of my office as mayor, so help me God.
I do and will.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
And moving to our incoming Board of Commissioners, Gerald Brown.
Mr. Brown, welcome to the world of politics. When I first, welcome back. Okay, welcome back. 'Cause, well, that's even worse almost. I decided to throw my name in the political hat in 2014, and somebody said, "Why you want to do a foolish thing like that for?" You came back, so you're even glutton for punishment.
Glutton for punishment, that's what it is.
Well, welcome back, Mr. Brown.
Thank you.
You say I, state your name. I'm going to read the entire paragraph, and I'll ask you this your oath or
Hey,
affirmation.
Judge,
Yes, sir.
let's help make this a little prettier place.
Hey!
I thought both of you were going to stay.
Good save, Mr. I, state your name.
Gerald Brown.
Do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authority which are or may be established for the government thereof, that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution and laws of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, and that I will be faithful to discharge the duties of my office as Commissioner, so help me God.
I will.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
Woody Tyner.
Congratulations.
Welcome to the affray, Mr. Tyler.
You remember Santa Claus a couple of Saturdays ago?
I do, Mr. Tyler.
Judge Gore's my neighbor.
He came by just to make sure. I was driving a different vehicle. That's why I feel safe on my street even when I'm not there. He was just saying, "Hey, how you doing?" I was like, "Well, Tyler, how you doing?" I'm driving a different vehicle, so I feel like he's checking my house out for me. I state your name.
I, Woody Tyner,
Do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, and I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina, and to the constitutional powers and authority which are or may be established for the government thereof, that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution and laws of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, that I will faithfully discharge duties of my office as Commissioner, so help me God.
Mr. Murdoch will be sworn in at an alternate time. Mike Sullivan.
the one common theme I'm seeing is all these fellows have married up and done well for themselves. I state your name.
Michael Sullivan.
Do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution and laws of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Commissioner, so help me God. Congratulations.
And Pat Kwiatkowski. You have to, dear.
I state your name.
Pat Kwiatkowski.
Do solemnly and sincerely swear that I will support the Constitution and laws of the United States, and that I will be faithful and bear true allegiance to the state of North Carolina and to the constitutional powers and authorities which are or may be established for the government thereof, and that I will endeavor to support, maintain, and defend the Constitution and laws of said state, not inconsistent with the Constitution of the United States, to the best of my knowledge and ability, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of my office as Commissioner, so help me God.
I will.
I need board members to come sit up at the dais with the keys, and I need the oath signed, if you don't mind, if we could do this really quick.
I will.
I can do that for you, it's up to you. Thank you.
I apologize for leaving folks, I got to drive back to Whiteville, and I can get back before kids. God bless you.
Okay. All right, I believe we're on number 12, Madam Clerk, is that correct?
Yes, sir. Per section 30.05, a mayor pro tem must be selected. I know I've talked to a couple of you guys. It is per general statute too. It says at the organizational meeting, so we should go ahead and select that today. The term could be whatever you want, so if you do want to change your mind when Commissioner Murdoch gets back, that's completely acceptable too, but we should have one in place.
So we can do an interim and do it later? Or
Yeah, we could do it as a mayor pro tem,
Whatever
but-
the board.
Right. And I have ballots, but in the past we've just done it out loud, so it's whatever your preference is.
All right, who wants to speak to the subject?
I would suggest that we put Joe Brown, put his name in to be the mayor pro tem. Mr. Brown received the most votes in the last election, and traditionally, that's been the way we do business here in Holden Beach, and I think that's the way we should continue to do business. I don't think it needs to be interim, I think it should just be for the 1-year term.
All right, any more discussion?
Need a second?
Is that a motion?
Yes.
All right,
Second.
discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say the motion. All in favor say aye.
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 Anyone opposed say no. It's unanimously approved. Congratulations.
Yes, sir.
Welcome aboard as Mayor Pro Tem. All right. Number 13, election of the executive secretary.
The executive secretary, if you guys would prefer to wait until Commissioner Murdoch gets back, that's completely acceptable because the term is up to the desire of the board. So we can vote now, or you could wait until he's back at the next meeting.
Well, given Pat's experience, being that she's one of the ones that's been on the board for a couple of years, I think we want to have her as the executive secretary of the board. So I'd like to make a motion that Pat becomes executive secretary of the board.
Have a motion on the floor. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Motion made and seconded. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. Congratulations. Turn the page to item number 14 on the agenda. Town clerk.
I have prepared a schedule based on our current schedule. All of the dates are the third Tuesday of the month, except for the February meeting where there's some conflicts. So that one is for the second Tuesday of the month. So you guys could approve this, or you could do whatever you desire with time, date, however the board chooses. We just have to set a schedule.
Are these dates representing the continuation of dates like we've been doing?
Everyone but February, which is the second Tuesday of the month instead of the third.
All right. Is there a motion?
I move that we accept the schedule that the town clerk has proposed, that it's the third Tuesday of every month with the exception of February where it's the second.
Motion second. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. It's unanimously approved. Number 15. Town clerk.
The Board of Commissioners, you're required to adopt rules of procedure. In the packets, I provided two versions. I just did the basic version by the School of Government, and I did the one we're currently using. But I would suggest that you would just review those and vote at the next meeting so that you're all here to make the vote. And then, if you guys have any suggestions now, I could bring something different back to the next board meeting, or if you just want to wait until make any decisions till next month.
I was actually going to suggest, since I am the poor person who 2 years ago worked on trying to make the rules of procedure acceptable to everybody, and I amended them about a year ago as well, that I'm happy to try again to make the rules of procedure something that is perhaps more simplified, but does add the few things that we were really emphasizing. And I'm happy to do that and bring that to the next meeting so that the whole board can see it, and perhaps we can get through a slightly altered version that really contains the things that we all agree are important to have in the existing rules of procedure from the school government.
If that's the board's consensus, that would be absolutely fine. Definitely, and we could put that version in the packet next month.
Okay. Unless somebody else wants to do it.
You can have it. You can have it.
Okay.
I would, I'm going to choose my words carefully. We have 3 new commissioners, and you're going to be attending a school that tells you and shows you how to conduct business and so forth. So as you pass these rules and of how you're going to do business, be certain that you understand them, because I'm sure many of you serve, like me, on several different boards, and different rules apply to different boards, whatever board rules they adopt. So it can be very confusing. Just be sure that you understand when you come to the meetings, that you're gonna be conducting business under these rules and regulations that you're passing. And it's a blessing that we have someone like Pat that can keep up with it, because I will confess, I don't know all the rules as I should, and I don't know anyone in the room that knows each and every detail and each and every circumstance that can come up without having the ability to have studied them and have the ability to look them up in the rules as the meeting flows. So it's a very big ordeal to adopt your rules and regulations. So thanks to Pat, we'll get through it, I'm sure. I'm sure whenever you go to these schools and classes, you're going to be like, And anyway, enough said, don't want to waste time, but it's going to be challenging. All right, so is it a consensus of the board, as the clerk referred? All right, let the record flow show that consensus of the board is to continue to follow the same procedural rules and modify as we go forward. All right, Chief Dixon, police report, we're on number 16.
Good evening. While I don't have much to talk about for February, if you've seen the numbers, I do have a little bit that I want to talk to you about in December. So, just December 16th, actually, we had, can everybody hear me? Okay. December 16th, in the area of Conch Street and Dunescape, we had 3 cars that were broken into. So, this is very fresh. We're trying to get ahead of it, but as of right now, we've had 3 cars that were broken into down there. So, I'm asking anybody, if you live down that way, if you see anything whatsoever that looks suspicious, if you see somebody that's not your neighbor, call us. Let us go down there and find out who they are. If you see a vehicle, anything whatsoever. That's especially for the East End because that's where it happened. Just because they were down there December 16th doesn't mean they won't go the other way December 17th, 18th. So if you live anywhere, please, if you see anything out of the way, anything that, if you don't know your neighbor, please call us. And I will answer your question in just a minute, I promise. Oh, go ahead.
I just wondered if the cars were locked.
They were unlocked. They were unlocked, and I'm going to get into that with my public service announcement. And we'll go ahead and jump into that. But anyway, if you see anything out of the way, please call us. We want to know who it is. As far as your cars go and your houses, lock them up. It is Christmas time. Should lock them all year, but Christmas time, people are over here Christmas shopping. We go to the store to Christmas shop. They come to our house in cars to Christmas shop. So we're doing what we can to get ahead of it. Speaking of getting ahead of it, it is Christmas time. People are breaking into stuff. People are out drinking and driving. Do not be surprised if you start seeing roadblocks come up, things like that. We want to keep the highways safe, and we want to keep your cars and your property safe. So if you see some roadblocks on the side of the road, pull up, hand us your license, say hello to us. Make sure you're not drinking, driving. Make sure you're following all the rules, and everybody will have a good night. So, but that's going on. That's not just here. You'll probably see a lot of those popping up across the county and the state if you're doing any traveling. So be careful on the roadways. But those are the 2 big things. Those are locally. And I want to mention one more thing on more of a national level. I get alerts from the FBI and different things that are going on. Most of them I never mention because they're not really applicable to us. But it's good to be in the know. But I got one about 2 weeks ago, and I did want to mention it to you. There's a new, I'm sure everybody here, how many of you have gotten an email scam at some point? Yes. Where somebody wants you to send them money, and I hope to God nobody's doing that. We've not taken a bunch of reports for it over here. We've had several people call and say, hey, this is going on, and we document it, but luckily nobody sent money. But there's a new one that the FBI is putting out there. It's called a virtual kidnapping scam. And what has happened is they're targeting elderly people, and they're calling and saying that their grandkids have been kidnapped, and there's actually young girls and stuff in the background screaming, and grandparents are rushing thousands of dollars out of the door to save their grandkids. So this is going on by phone. Like I said, this has not been local. It's not been here, but we have, our population here is more elderly, retired people. So if you have grandkids, college age, anything like that, keep that in the back of your mind. If somebody calls and says they have your children or your grandchildren, call us. Don't just start sending them money. Call us and we'll try to get ahead of it, okay? So, that's my Christmas spiel. I know everybody wants to, there's refreshments back there. Who can concentrate when there's refreshments? If you have questions, comments, or concerns on any of that or anything else that we don't know about, I'd be glad to try to help you with it. Or any commissioners, anything here?
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 17, remember we amended this to include the audit committee.
We have a vacancy on the planning and zoning board because Commissioner Shiner had to resign. And then, I don't know if you would like to speak, Commissioner Sullivan, or if you'd like me to, it's up to you. The terms for the audit committee members, they're 1 year and they're up in January. So Commissioner Sullivan thought that we could do the interviews on the same day so that we didn't have to schedule another special meeting. So if the board would like, I could schedule a special meeting for 6:45 the day of our next board meeting, and then I'll put out a blast saying that we're seeking applicants for both positions.
Is that consensus of the board?
Yes.
Consensus of the board, Madam Clerk.
Thank you, sir.
Number 18, Commissioner Sullivan.
The town went through a process that lasted about a year to formulate a new land use plan. Haven't had one in over 10 years. And the plan comprehensive. It will have an effect on how people are able to use their property, and it's up to the board to approve it or to amend it. When the discussion was had by the committee who made the plan, we had suggested that the committee and the board meet to discuss it, since the board has to approve it, and the board does not speak at the committee meeting, so we had no input in the plan as it is now. That suggestion was rejected by the committee. They felt as if they had put in a lot of time and effort, and they didn't want to have the board have a meeting and spend any more time and effort on the plan. So I'd like to give them another opportunity, because the board is a responsible party for how this plan is put into place, whether it's put in as it is written now, or if there are any changes to it. So I would just like to have the board look at their calendars, have Tim Evans, who was involved in the process all the way along, and invite all of the committee members to attend the meeting on the date that we choose, so that we can discuss the plan and see if there are any things that need to be changed, or if we accept it and agree to accept it and vote on it as is. And I'd like to do that now, because this plan has been submitted to the state for its approval, and that can take anywhere between 90 days to who knows how long. So it's been there for about 60 days now, I think, and I'd rather we do this sooner rather than later. That's why this is on the agenda.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to just say that it also helps, the closer we are to everybody having worked on the document, the fresher the memories are going to be. If we do have some questions about why is it phrased like this, or did you consider this, the further away we get from it, the more likely it is people start to, have little things slip from their memory. So to me, it just makes sense to have the get-together sooner than later.
So I guess I would suggest that when Brian gets some time, we can just give Heather our calendars, and we can have this meeting sometime after the new year, or maybe before the next meeting.
Sounds good.
Good.
Everybody happy with that? All right, we on number 19, Ms. Pat?
Yeah, I mean, I can address 19 and 20 together. This is sort of what I would call the second reading of these. I put these out for both commissioners as well as the public to comment on. If they have anything that they wanted to change in these sorts of directives of how we are going to make requests for advisory committee or board recommendations, as well as how we will go forward with making requests to the town manager and town attorney. Haven't received any public comments. I haven't received anything by email. So given that, all I'll say is that at the next meeting, I will put them on the agenda again, but it will be for discussion and possible action to approve them. I will make a couple modifications to the directive to advisory boards or committees that were discussed at the last meeting. And hopefully, if anybody does have anything to say, they'll say it next meeting. Otherwise, I would expect that, we will have some sort of a vote on this, and I hope they're approved.
Any comments, questions?
I have a comment. And this is really semantics, but in item 20, however the text of the item is in the actual document, could we remove the word requests from that and use a more formal word like directive? Because the board doesn't ask me what to do, the board tells me what to do.
I was being
I know you're being kind, but I just want everybody to know, y'all tell me what to do, you don't ask me what to do. And I understand that completely.
We'll ask you the first time. Tell you the second time.
we can change it to direction or directive, yes. We can change that.
Anything else? Questions? Ready to move to 21? Ms. Pat?
Oh, okay. There was a public meeting before Thanksgiving around the North Carolina Department of Environmental Quality issuing a National Pollutant Discharge Elimination System permit to CPI, where there are going to be a couple additions to the effluent that's new to this new permit. I went to the meeting to understand more of what was happening, what the changes were, and sort of what the situation is in terms of how the evaluation of acceptable effluent and risk would be made. There were a number of comments by people about various things, but what I came out of that meeting with is I'm not saying that a decision to allow it is bad. However, I did not find and I did not get at that meeting sufficient information on what is going to change in the effluent makeup and the potential risk to the marine environment that made me comfortable saying that I don't see a problem. So I was in discussion with the town manager about some of the things that I had noted didn't seem to be readily available to the public, and he suggested that I put together a draft resolution about what I felt we might, as the town of Holden Beach, want to ask the DEQ to do with justification, because this is open for public comment until December 23rd. So this resolution is really about the fact that the town of Holden Beach, we are not right where the effluent comes out. It comes out about 2,000 feet into the sea off Caswell Beach. But as you know, we always say we're downstream. Everything goes east to west, so we're the next island. So I felt that it would be prudent for us to note that this cannot impact us, and we would simply like to be sure that what is understood, fully understood, is what is in there that could be of harm, and whatever information there is about the content and the risk to the marine environment, and eventually what could happen on downstream beaches. So it's a request to DEQ for more information, more clarity, more transparency, and another chance for there to be public meeting and public comment once that is offered. So that is the background of this resolution. I would actually move, I assume everybody has looked at this, and I haven't received anything from anyone other than Commissioner Sullivan did suggest one minor change in the first, now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of the Town of Holden Beach that in the best interest of environmental and safety of the public in general, instead of just public safety, the Town of Holden Beach and other Brunswick Beach communities, and then continue with the same. And I felt that that was a good change. But otherwise, I personally would like to move that the board approves this proposed resolution with that one agreed change, and directs the town clerk to submit the resolution with an appropriate cover letter from the town to the DEQ as the Town of Holden Beach comment to this permit, this proposed permit, before the December 23rd cutoff date for comments.
That's a motion.
A motion.
I'll second it.
All right, discussion?
If I may add, that Oak Island is considering something similar also tonight.
Any more discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed say no. It's unanimously passed. Thank you, Ms. Pat. Town manager's report, Dave.
Yes, sir. Got some pretty good news today. From Congressman Rouser's office, they've informed us that FEMA has announced through the federal legislatures that the Florence money has been awarded to the state of North Carolina in the amount of just under $12 million. That, coupled with the North Carolina share, comes to $15.8 million for the beach renourishment associated with Hurricane Florence. Announced earlier this month was the federal award that's already been in the paper of right at $6.4 million. That's a total of $8.5 million for the damages from Michael. Collectively, we're pushing $24.4 million in FEMA damages through the Category G storm damage renourishment funds. We're working with Dorian, the most recent hurricane. So those other two storms were 15 months ago. So it's taken 15 months to plow its way through the congressional award or through the federal award system. We're at the present time we're working with Dorian, and that project is scoped at about $4.5 million. Collectively, we're pushing $30 million on 3 major hurricanes, while simultaneously doing the mop-up work from Irene and Matthew. We've still got about $300,000 we're working to acquire that. As Joe alluded to earlier, the Lockwood Folly Ben Widener navigation project is underway on the east end. Goodloe Marine is the contractor. That shore pipe is in place on the dry sand beach from pretty much the northeast tip of the islands, where it comes ashore there and then transits around to just west of Amazing Grace. So they're going to be pumping probably about 7,000 yards a day. It's a small dredge. We can expect those operations to be going on through early January, mid-January, worst case scenario is what we've been told, and nighttime operations are probable. So depending on, it can be a noisy kind of thing. There'll be a bulldozer on the beach, and we'll just bear with it. The total amount of sand that is to be removed from the inlet and the waterway crossing is about 200,000 cubic yards. That's the in situ estimate. Actual placement on the beach is probably going to be somewhat less than that because there's a lot of water in that sand. So we will see how far down it comes. But the template that is, we do have the engineered drawings for that, and the template's going to be very similar to what's always been placed there. It just depends on what the yield is, and hopefully the dredge will. That dredge hasn't been used here before. It's a new company, and hopefully that is a good thing. We just have to see. Our Central Reach project sand source is on schedule. We're proceeding with that. We're going to get this FEMA money, but we have to have a permit in order to do something with it. So both of those events or activities are occurring simultaneously and on parallel tracks. To that end, I do need to apprise the commissioners regarding Budget Ordinance Amendment 1918. That's the $30,000 budget ordinance amendment that was approved last month that pulled the money out of the Beach and Inlet Capital Reserve Fund. As a consequence of that was a fast-moving kind of thing. Administratively, that was in error. That money was actually, per the document, it was placed into the Lockwood Folly dredging line. Y'all approved $4,600 for the town's share of the Lockwood Folly dredging line. You also approved $25,400 for professional services for the sand search offshore. I've remedied that administratively, but I'm obligated to tell you that. So when the budget actuals come out and somebody checks around. So I've taken care of that. It is in accordance with the board's wishes to fund both of those activities from the Beach and Inlet Capital Reserve account. Speaking of money, our audit for the year ending 30 June 2019 has been received and approved by the Local Government Commission. I can pay them now. Now, to probably not some so good news is that Brunswick Electric is announcing the first rate hike in over 10 years. So the average residential account is probably going to go up to the tune of $8.63 a month. Is that a lot? Depending on what your light bill is. Our concern here is that our sewer lift stations are huge consumers of electricity, and although there are different categories and classes of consumers, we did not budget for an increase in our utility line to the tune of 17% like is on the residential side. We will know more about that when we dig into it a little bit, and we always are that's a pretty tight utility budget because it's consistent, and we can dial it in pretty tight with the it's directly correlated how much sewer flows we have, how much water we use. So we're intimately familiar with that. But this rate increase will go into effect the 1st of April. So we're going to be looking real hard at that and try to squeeze it out through the end. But for the upcoming year, it is a concern. I also want to apprise everyone of an ongoing project that is ancillary to the town, but it's related to a project that we have going on and may impact it. The Brunswick Sewer Treatment Plant in Supply, they've had some issues with that plant. One of the oxidation ditches has had failures of two major components in oxidation ditch number 3. The technology that is in place there, it's older technology. The decision was made to try to perhaps implement the technology that's up at the Northeast plant in Leland. So they went through getting an engineer and scoping, putting it out to bid, that kind of thing. And the proposed funding for that estimate was supposed to come from the existing repair and reclamation fund, repair and maintenance fund that the county has for the regional sewer system, already escrowed, not across to the town, and to also use the annual lease payment that the town of Southport is providing in the interim until they get their sewer plant up and running. That estimate was just over $1 million. When they put it out to bid, it came in at over $3 million. So suffice it to say that decision's been made to repair the existing rotors using the old technology, and we'll wait for a better bid climate when the next iteration comes around. I wanted to make sure that I mentioned that because there's a lot of development, construction, infrastructure going on here as it relates to our Lift Station 3 upfit. And do I know, they only had 2 bids on that major project up at the regional plant, and they actually had to go back out and rebid it. Our Lift Station 3, we've got our bids on the street. We've had our mandatory pre-bid conference. Leo Green has solicited far and wide. We had 4 people, I believe, or 4 prospective bidders show up at the mandatory pre-bid conference on the 10th, and are set to receive bids on December the 19th. I do not know what to expect from that. I'm concerned based on the results from the county's experience, but we'll just have to see how it goes. On a broader note, the access way at we'll get the bids, and then we'll have that back for the board in January. The access way at 289, that is a grant-funded access way, or partial grant-funded. That is under construction, and the upcoming town-sponsored events, I've been told to put in one last plug for the community luncheon on Friday, December the 20th at noon. That's it.
Questions? Mayor's comments are brief. First of all, to you, Mr. Hewitt, and your staff, volunteers that may have helped, all this money that is given or granted to the town of Holden Beach would not happen if it were not pursued by Mr. Hewitt and the staff and the volunteers that serve in many capacities. In other words, if they were just to sit in their hands and watch it go by, it would go somewhere else. It takes a lot of effort to have that money come to Holden Beach. And for that, I think everyone in this room really appreciates that. And I want to give you all a big hand for that. That's millions of dollars. Secondly, the tree lighting event. Santa Claus did a great job, and Mrs. Claus and the elves, and all the assistants and staff. What a wonderful job, and whoever was in charge of the weather, we really appreciate you holding the rain off until most all of the event was complete. I know all the kids of all ages seemed to have a great time. We had as many dogs as I can remember come, and they even had a good time. So overall, the event was great, and I have had numerous comments and phone calls commenting about the decorations along our streets and how pretty the town looks. So everybody that had a role in that, thank you very much. We had a meeting at the county complex today in regards to the inlet hazard area. I sent an email blast out yesterday and encourage all of you that may not have already signed up to be on that email blast from the town of Holden Beach. I encourage you to do so. You will not be under siege by a lot of email blasts, but they are very important when that service is used. I sent that out yesterday to encourage all of you to participate and be aware of potential changes in regards to the inlet hazard area. And you say, well, my house is in the middle of the island, what does it do to impact me? I'm not near an inlet. Well, the ramifications are numerous. For example, as property values may be driven down by new rules and regulations, when tax values go down in one part of the town, what happens to the rest of the town? You get to participate a little bit more, reach deeper in your pocket to make up the difference. So when these new regulations are proposed, input from the public needs to be very aggressive and understand what's going on. And just because what is on the books now is proposed doesn't mean it's going to be passed. So have your input, get involved, and be on top of it, because right now, most of you that have been watching this are aware that the inlet hazard area on the west end of Holden Beach has been extended eastward to Sailfish Drive. That's the last Canal Street point west from here. So from the last Canal Street to Shalot Inlet is proposed to be in the inlet hazard area. And on the east end, it would run from the inlet itself, Lockwood Folly, to Blockade Runner. So pay attention. It impacts all of you, whether you're in the area or not. It does impact the whole island, how it will treat us. And lastly, thank you all for your support. For me as mayor, and I'm sure the commissioners that have been elected, thank you for your trust and confidence. Encourage all of you to come to our meetings, regular meetings and special meetings, and help us understand what you want done and how you want it done, and encourage us to do as you bid. And we work for you and we represent you, and we just thank you very much for allowing us to sit in these chairs and hopefully do a wonderful job for the town and make you all proud. Mr. Mayor Pro Tem, you got the floor.
Couldn't tell you about that, did I?
First of all, it's really good to see a full house. Okay? Politics won't work for you unless you get involved. If you can't come, you call your neighbor. Hey, go to town hall tonight. Let's keep them straight. Okay? We're here just to serve you. We don't have our own personal agendas or anything. And my hope is that we become a really quiet board. Things settle down and we get on with the business, because it's really big bucks we're talking about here with these FEMA deals and all, and we want to get all that we can. Commend the staff. Thanks for the great job you're doing, okay? We've been told that you've got a good handle on things. And I would just like you to know that for some reason, should you need some additional help, don't hesitate to bring it to the board, okay? And we just, want everybody to have a really great holiday. Be safe. You travel, be safe in your travels. And first of the year, let's get down to doing good business for the town of Holden Beach. Okay? That's me.
Mike?
Excuse me. I'd just like to follow up a little bit about what the mayor said. We went to a meeting today about the inlet hazard areas, and there weren't many people there, but the town was well represented. Mayor Holden was there, David was there, Woody was there, Pat was there, I was there, Tim was there, Chrissy was there. And there were some questions, and let me say, Tom Myers was there representing the homeowners association, property owners association.
And Vicky.
I'm sorry?
And Vicky.
Well, Vicky was there. So it's important that we're going to have a meeting here on the 16th?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we're going to have a meeting here on the 16th, and the people are going to be here from the commission. And just to show you, give you an illustration of why we think the plan is wrong, Holden Beach is going to have the most properties affected of any island in North Carolina, by a large number. That roughly 300 homes are going to be affected if the plan as written now is implemented. And as the mayor said, just because your home may not be in the impacted area doesn't mean you won't be impacted by the new rules. So it would behoove everybody who has the opportunity to either send in their comments, and they made it clear that they don't want to hear comments like, this idea stinks. They would like some basis for our opposition, but we should all participate in either making comments or coming to the meeting and asking questions to let the people realize that they haven't done this correctly. And we know they haven't done it correctly, and they're going to have to amend their plan so that it is more scientifically supported. And I'd like to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And again, thank you for the confidence in voting for me again.
That's bad.
I just wanted to take the opportunity to thank all of the volunteers that we've had on various boards and committees for their really hard work this year, in addition to the staff, of course. I've really enjoyed working with the staff the past couple of years, and I look forward to continuing to work with you over the next couple of years as well. In addition to the town manager and the mayor, I have felt that I've learned a lot from all of you, and hopefully the next 2 years I can give back more than I've taken. For everybody who is coming, I really appreciate seeing the bigger crowds, and I hope that this continues into the next year. We really do want to hear more from our public, particularly when we start talking about amending ordinances, adding services, or hopefully not, but if we have to make difficult budget decisions on amending services. And when you're here to actually give us the opinions as we're going through and thinking about it instead of after we've come to a decision, it really helps us be more efficient. So I look forward to next year, and happy holidays to everybody.
Last but not least, first of all, thank all of y'all for being here. I see a lot of friends out there, and I appreciate y'all coming to support this board. I think we got a really great board. I'm looking forward to working with them. I've known all of them for a long time. I've known this rascal here for a really long time. But I've worked with the staff. I think the town has a great staff, and I'm looking forward to working closer with the staff. So once again, I want to thank everybody showing up tonight. I want to echo some of what Gerald said. You know, we're here to represent you. We need your feedback. We need your participation. One of the things that I campaigned on and I want to try to do is to find more ways for the public that be able to provide comments and input before we make decisions. So we can't do it if you're not here to help us give you your input, or if we send you a survey or an email. So please participate in this important process of running the town of Holden Beach. Lastly, I want to thank my wife. She has been a great support in this journey of me running for political office, and hopefully some of y'all will meet my dad, my sister, my brother-in-law. They're also sitting up here. So once again, appreciate everybody being here. Wish you Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.
Thanks, sir. Number 25, public comments. You can speak about anything if you want to speak about. If you just raise your hand and be recognized and come to the podium on my right and speak into the microphone and give us your name and where you live. Anything. What you want Santa to bring you, or whatever you want to say. Yes, ma'am. You have,
I just wondered, do I have to stand up?
no, you have to come to the microphone.
I can talk real loud.
I'm sure you can, but we have to record it.
Oh, I'll tell you, do I have to turn my- I'm Linda Blanchard, I live at Seaside Drive here. And this may be very trivial, but the snowflake lights are really pretty. Why did they not go to the whole beach? Why did they stop? I thought at the last meeting you said we had enough to run the town for a year. Saved up. I mean, how much would it be? 15 more lights? It just seems like it would beautify just a little bit.
Because we pay our taxes down on that end too.
Are we gonna die now?
Well, the town manager has asked me a question about rule of order. You want him to respond, because normally we just take in information. It's Christmas.
Yeah, it's Christmas.
Christmas, go ahead, bro.
How many street lights are there?
I'm not sure.
I mean, how many did you ask?
Well, there's
Because they're about $400 a piece, but we try to, at $500 a piece, and what we do is we actually try to replace a third of them every year for the existing stock. There has been, used to, it was my understanding that there were donations that were taken up, and when somebody wanted a street light,
That's what they told me.
then they were installed. That's kind of a piecemeal approach to it. And what we've tried to do is just program the replacing stocks. If there's a desire to have some type of formal policy that would extend those, the board's going to have to decide on that. Because they're $500 a piece, and we would need to have some type of protocol. We haven't added any since I've been here that I know of, 12 or 13 years. But if it's Christmas time, the board wants to pull out the checkbook, we can go ahead and start ordering them up, but we don't have any money budgeted to buy any more. But however y'all want to do it, it's fine with me. You asked me to start talking, so I'm gonna put, you guys want to start writing checks, you're gonna have to appropriate some money. It's $500 a piece, and then you're gonna have to decide who gets them.
Well, mostly that end is big stuff, so I think it goes all the way to this end of the bridge and around under the bridge. So, we pay our taxes too, and we feel like redheaded steps.
It really adds to it, though.
It does.
Here
and
at
I think
Christmas,
I
I
think
mean,
we need
it's
to
just
beautify
so
the
great
bridge.
to ride down Ocean Boulevard and see those things, and I really think you need to keep coming and reminding us, even in the heat of July, remind us Christmas is coming. Okay, and in the meantime, there's, we might get, like Woody's retired bank.
I didn't give me any money when I left.
He may be able to go there and shake the tree a little bit, work a few things around, maybe get an extra half point or something on some money at the bank, help us out and find a few funds like that or something. But we're gonna keep plugging though, okay? We'll make this a little issue. I'm with you. I'd like to see that.
Even when we did the sewer, I know it changed the side of the street it was on, but the sidewalks on this end of the beach got wider. You can't hardly walk two people down those sidewalks on that end of the beach.
Yeah. That's
And the grass is not cut enough, and it's not edged.
We need to get Mr. Clemens back in here right quick.
I'm just all for beautifying our home here. I think we need to
Absolutely.
take pride in it and do whatever we can to
Take a
make
little
our
pride.
beach more. Yeah.
Maybe we need to have a little volunteer work,
That'd be all.
That's another
Thank you
suggestion.
very, very, very much.
Thank you. And Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
Anyone else want to speak to it? Yes, ma'am.
My
My name is Dolly Mitchell, and at 132 Tarpon. I understand, think, HVTOA used to occasionally buy the snowflakes for the town, and they're presently sitting on about $40,000. So maybe that might be a source of lights. Thank you.
Anyone else want to speak about anything? All right, last chance. Otherwise, I'm going to say, is there a motion that we adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
And a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Adjourn. Grab some goodies.